welcome back to the channel. My name is Katie. Alright guys, remember the other day when I told you that I have one of the craziest stories I've ever reported on? You remember? Nope, we're gonna top it. We're gonna top it today, and we have more of an update from that. I have 2 videos on this already, guys. Go make sure and check them out. I'll try to have links in the cards and the description, all about FBI leaked calls and things. But there is a guy named Richard Albertini. He is a fascinating, fun character. Y'all remember the character in I, Tonya? It was, what's his name? Is it Galooly? I can't remember anybody's names. Okay, so in I, Tonya, remember there's Tonya Harding, there's her boyfriend and the boyfriend's friend, who's like this big kind of dumb guy, and he says he just lies and says he's involved in all these high profile things, and he's somebody who puts out hits on people and does all this stuff, right? So you've seen that. To me, this guy, Richie, seems like this guy. And this is one of Amber Heard's people. And this guy is saying that Paul Baresi was hired to take a hit out on JD, but then flipped to JD's side. I had to do a quick jump cut about this. This story is so crazy, I forgot to add this in. This ties into those videos with the leaked calls, because Richard Albertini is the one that's going around and he is making false police reports and false FBI reports about YouTubers who were just laughing at how stupid this is and saying that they're unsafe people and like actually harassing their lives. It's getting really funny. So that's where this ties in. Go check out those other 2 videos for that context. But yeah, can you imagine? To me, this is like if somebody did that to me, saying I'm in some conspiracy and, you know, for Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. And it's like, I'm just a regular Joe laughing on the internet about how crazy this whole thing is. Like, you really believe this? That's our man. I'm at the point I'm almost a fan of Richie Albertini. He's so crazy, I kind of stan him. I kind of do. Oh, and Richie is former mobster. He's been involved in every high-profile thing ever in Hollywood. We have audio clips of him talking about this. I'm going to tell you right now, this is one of the wildest rides we're going to go on. We're going to go on together. And if you want to be super entertained, and you know me, your girl does not beg for likes and comments and watch to the ends, right? I do have my gift card giveaway, and that helps. But to me, that's something that helps us both, right? So I feel like I'm giving something. And I'm not begging you to stay to the end, but I'm telling you, grab some popcorn, get your sodas, snacks, and your tea. Sit, block this out, because we are going to have fun with this. This is a long audio clip, but it is straight up just hilariousness. I don't know what, I got 4 minutes in and I'm like, I'm done. We're going to do this together because this is so crazy. With that being said, this will be highly edited. There is a lot of offensive stuff, not just cursing, but like for people who are transgender, calling them a word that is now a slur. It's trans, but then you would add an N and a Y at the end, things like that. And guys, if anything does slip through, please understand it's not my intention. I'm not trying to in any way be offensive. I'm just probably an editing mistake. I'm going to do the best that I can. So this will be highly, highly edited because of that. The only thing I'll take out is any offensive words. Now, what's funny is the left is like, oh, he's a whistleblower and he's this person and he's talking about all the stuff that goes on in Hollywood. And it's funny though, because he uses lots and lots of awful slurs, and he's a extreme right Trump supporter. Now, you know, I am not for or against Trump on this channel. I've said I try to look at everything objectively, but you know, we have left-wing nuts and right-wing nuts, and he sounds like a right-wing nut. I'm not saying everybody on the right are nuts, just like not everybody on the left are nuts, right? Are the nuts. Do you see what I'm saying? So I'm not trying to, I'm just painting a picture of how funny it is. How can the left back him when he's saying all of these slurs and he's pro-Trump and pro-gun and pro-police, and I told you this is going to get so much fun. I can't wait. If you're new here, make sure and subscribe, hit that notification bell. I just giggled all the stuff in the news. Would love to have you to giggle with me. Also, my $100 gift card giveaway, really simple. All you have to do, like the video, subscribe, hit notifications, comment, share the content, watch a video from start to finish, and you're entered and you're eligible. Do it for every video, because every time you do it, you get entered. The more likes, the more shares, the more comments, and almost nobody's doing this because my channel's super small. So you have a good shot. Good luck. Now, y'all ready? Y'all ready? This is gonna be a long ride. Here we go. I'm excited.
I was there quite often.
Okay, I was at the Beverly Center all day, every day with John Collins, Alexis Archie. Wasn't even Alexis yet. I was out at all the underground clubs with these guys. We were going to Scream and Plastic Passion. Yeah, let's talk about Hollywood in the 80s. Because if you had any sense, you'd be listening to me. Because these trafficking rings still exist. Amber Heard hired Paul Baresi to murder Johnny Depp.
Oh my God! Now you're gonna make up more.
He's the same man. I'll send you. Okay.
You're a coconut apple tree too.
All right. Then hang up. Then hang up or take a report because I'm gonna have your in about 10 minutes. Because if you had any sense, you'd be listening to me. Because these trafficking rings still exist. And Paul Baresi, a gay porn star, is a murderer that gets hired to murder homosexual people. He murdered that transvestite, Shalimar Salul. I have his admission. I have him offering me a bribe to get him information about that case because of my involvement with Rampart Crash. He also murdered Paul Lynde, have his admission, and he also murdered he was Paul Lynde's boyfriend, and that's why he murdered Paul Lynde. He also murdered Paul Lynde's boyfriend prior to that, where he pushed him out of a window in San Francisco.
Okay.
There you go. Now let's get back to the Odyssey in West Hollywood and trafficking.
You came with Me Too lawyers, huh?
Yes.
And it does
Marty
exist, the
Kaplan,
trafficking.
Richard Schwartz and Eric George.
That's the hard part. This stuff does
I went
exist.
and met with them.
He's not wrong
I
there,
had a
but
meeting with Eric Schwartz. I have all this. I have checks.
And how? Listen. I'm sorry. I don't want to cut you off because this part is interesting. How does that connect to Nancy Pelosi and Gavin Newsom?
It doesn't. It has to do with I have been involved in this life for so many years. If you took a look at the email, if you look at the subject, it said Black Book Whistleblower.
Black Book Whistleblower.
I am involved in Hollywood since junior high school. The Coppolas.
No, but earlier you were saying Nancy Pelosi and Gavin Newsom were responsible for that murder.
Well, no, I didn't say they're responsible. I never told you that. I told you they're responsible for cover-ups.
Okay.
All right. How do I know?
You're right.
How do I know that they're responsible for cover-ups? Because I currently am in communication with one of the top supervisors in the Los Angeles Police Department, detective, telling me all my information is credible.
Yeah.
Everything I'm giving them is credible. They don't even know everything yet. They're being shut down by the mayor.
Yeah.
And I could prove it. I could put you in touch with the freaking detectives. And I'm sorry, I'm not getting mad at you. I'm just getting emotional.
No, I got you.
Listen.
The mayor was involved with sex trafficking, wasn't he?
Who?
The mayor.
I don't know. Eric Garcetti?
Yeah.
I have no idea. He's still the mayor.
I don't know, man. That's what I'm hearing.
Well, he's still the mayor. And if you're hearing that, you should be really listening to me. He's covering up the murders of that transgender.
Okay.
Now, I don't give a that was a transgender. As you could tell, I'm a right-wing conservative Christian, pro-Trump, pro-America, pro-gun, pro-life, NRA guy.
Listen,
I'm also back the blue.
I need to introduce you to my friend Brian, because he's right there with you.
All right.
He's right there with you.
I am also back the blue. I grew up in West Hollywood. I may use some derogatory terms sometimes, but they're not meant to be derogatory. It's when you grow up. Oh, let me be honest with you. When you grow up hanging out at the Odyssey, and you grow up around these people, yeah, we call them fans. But it was never like derogatory. This is how they spoke. They would call us tunas and.
we rip on each other. That is exactly how we grew up.
How could you be so mean when you're supporting?
How am I mean? I support Caitlyn Jenner.
You were calling their names and you're supporting.
I have a black friend.
What did I call? I'm not calling. I'm talking about like I grew up and this is how we used to talk to each other.
And that's true.
The gay kids in school used to have names for us. They call us breeders. They call us tuna chasers. This wasn't considered hate speech or anything back then.
That's true.
That's what I was getting at. So if you hear me slip and say something, please don't be offended by it. It's, you know.
I hear it.
This is the left's man. This is
No,
Amber Heard's
I don't
man.
talk like this. The bottom line is they're human beings. They're human beings. And
when our wives aren't watching, me and my friend Brian, sometimes we play. You know what I mean?
Bro, I was a gangster. Verified, validated. I can tell you where to look.
Yeah.
I was involved in Hollywood. Sophia Coppola was my first draw. A lot of people have a hard time listening to this because I'll admit to you, it does sound crazy.
At least he's
I will
self-aware.
admit any time to a psychiatric evaluation.
It does, but the thing thing is it all ties together.
Of course it does.
Several years ago, I became aware of the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial. I became aware that he was suing her for $50 million. I have a long-standing relationship with Johnny Depp. I was in management at the Viper Room nightclub. I know him pretty well. I know the details of events that happened at the Viper Room, which would probably be shocking to all of you. Some of you will readily agree with it, and you'll just believe it because of the nature of how these Hollywood elite Luciferians operate. But to get to the Amber Heard story, I reached out immediately to Amber Heard's attorneys, Richard Schwartz and Eric George. I told them who I was. I told them about Johnny's history. I told them that I've seen Johnny be violent, not only towards women, but as well, men as well. They took everything I said very serious, and I had agreed that I would testify against Johnny Depp in the trial on Amber's behalf. A couple months later, I get contacted by Paul Baresi. He contacts me through Facebook. He indicated to me that he was a private investigator hired by Amber's attorneys, and they forwarded him my information. He told me that he was an investigator in the Anthony Fox disappearance. And I finally, I didn't call him back immediately. I called Richard Schwartz. Obviously, I want to verify this guy is who he says he is. Rick Schwartz says, yes, that's Amber's PI. We hired him to work with you. Please cooperate with him fully. Tell him everything you know. Tell him everything you've seen. And provide him with a list of other witnesses that would corroborate your story.
More background on Paul Baresi. Here we go.
Eddie Murphy, who famously picked up a transsexual in his car. It was a spring day in 1997, and
year to the day later, she's a colleague of mine who I brought on to help report it, Johnny Wendell. I don't know if you know Johnny Angel, local journalist and radio guy. We went out and, tried to doorstep her family. They weren't talking, out in Torrance or something like that. And then I just got with Paul Baresi, a fixer, a la, Ray Donovan, dirtied up 10 squared. And, Paul just led me right to the people that would know.
Paul is kind of like an entree into sort of the LA underbelly then. I mean, I've dealt with him as well.
He's a shame. This guy's great. This guy has worked Michael Jackson, everything. And what he does is he plays both ends against the middle.
Yeah, I know, I've interviewed him.
Yeah, you know how he works. And, the fact is, I don't pay anything. So, it's just like, Paul, let's go. Give me what you got. And, I'm going to infuse this with your story.
Okay, so that's a little more background information and background story about this. Now, I didn't go into too much detail, so I'll go into detail now. This guy, Richie, this is the same one that is saying that umbrella guy is making false FBI reports and false police reports about him, that he's putting people in harm's way, and there's a big conspiracy about it. This is the same guy. Here's what's hard. A lot of what he's saying in terms of how Hollywood operates is true. It's not, uncommon whatsoever. And it's something we're all aware of. You've heard me rail on this channel about the, elites in Hollywood that do horrible things to women and children. And that happens and continues to happen. We're aware of that, right? So I don't want to mock that and put that down because that does happen. But this guy is wild. It just gets crazier and crazier. So now Paul Baresi put out a hit. I'm kind of pro Richie. I'm kind of standing Richie because he's so, you ever have something that's so insane it's just entertaining? I feel like I'm kind of in that crowd. That's this person. I'll tell you something else too. Y'all know your girl. I love blank theories. My whole TikTok is dedicated to them. I love this stuff. I'm certifiably, legitimately nuts, okay? I believe aliens exist and I want them to come interact with us, all right? Positive ones. If you're an a-hole, I don't want you, alien or otherwise. So when somebody like me who is really crazy looks at a situation and goes, that's nuts, you should be concerned. When even I'm like, that's too much, because I'm a lot. I'm pretty intense with all my weirdness. But I wanted to give you guys some of that because it's funny and I'm enjoying it. And he's continuing to talk to the media. So there's a hit on Johnny from Paul Baresi, says the mobster that was involved with everything and everyone and Sofia Coppola was his first girlfriend in Hollywood. Here's the thing, some of this might be true. I'm not saying it's not. And you know, when you run in those circles, you will end up meeting a lot of people and having a lot of stories. So I could actually see I could see some credibility to what he's saying, but it just gets more and more nuts. And the fact that he really believes there's some big unsafe conspiracy with that umbrella guy who's just a YouTuber who's laughing at the insanity. I feel like it's just a person like me laughing at how stupid this is that got successful. It's funny. What do you guys think? Sound off in the comments. And if you're new, like the video. Subscribe, hit notifications, $100 gift card giveaway. Like video, subscribe, hit notifications, comment. I'm going to end this here now. This was fun. I hope you guys enjoyed this as much as I did. All right, guys. Take care. Lots of love, lots of blessings. Till the next video. Hugs for everybody. Mwah. Kisses. Stay safe. And I will see you soon. Bye, guys. What is happening?